Yeah, I just felt like if you walked in any environment and you had on a Don C hat,
everybody knew.
Everybody knew. You right? It's like it was like having an iPhone at that time, right? Like when I think of the Don C, I think of Apple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna compare it to that. I'm gonna do that. So it's certain, like I'm super intentional, you know what I mean? Like I'm just one of those, I'm that type of designer. The Fair God hat, that's in the front over there. I knew that was gonna be a specialty piece. We not racing with everybody else, like, you know what I mean? I'm not looking over my shoulder to see like how far along my competitors are, how far along my peers are, like. Y'all not fucking with my hat collection now. Like, I'm trying to know this. It's not. And then it's the Inspire.
I gotta make sure it's
Inspire. You see the Inspire hat? You know we gonna finish it off with the Inspire.
Oh, hey, Bob.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Oh, alright. What's up, y'all? This is JJ. Or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Alright, what's up, you bum ass niggas? This is JJ.
Keep going. I'll fuck you.
That's the shit I really be wanting to say. Like, alright, y'all, man. I know a lot of y'all niggas counting me out. Y'all thought I was gonna come with some heat. So I say all the shit you been thinking. Like, been off the gram for a minute, but I mean, niggas been telling me the shit y'all been saying. Y'all ain't liking my pics. Shit like that. Nah, I got it.
Yeah. You can do a clip.
Then a clip shit?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all. Bob got me doing mad clips. I ain't gonna lie, I'm forgetting the shit I gotta say. I'm off the juice. Like, I'm doing this shit backwards. I'm gonna bring y'all my top three. Like, look, I got a fire. I know I got a fire top three. That's all I know. I don't know what y'all. Here, Bob. Take this. I don't know what y'all top three, but I got a mean top three. I'm ready to get to my top three. I came here just for the top three. Matter of fact,
you're dumb extra right now.
Oh, hey, Bob.
When I go po, just laugh right until I run out of gas. At the gas.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? Welcome to another episode of Chillin' with Bob. Top 3 hats. Well, you know we're going to talk about some of the flyest, nostalgic, and trendiest hat drops of today. And you know what, man? I can't hold you. I feel super blessed. It's been an honor. Because on my show, I've been able to meet some of like the coolest down-to-earth creators, collectors, and just overall like people, you know what I mean? So last season, just like all the rest of my seasons, I had a chance to really talk to some cool people down-to-earth, real creative, you know, and innovative in this hat culture. And one thing I realized is that some of my favorite hats of last season all had to do with my next guest. As soon as I met Jay, it was just instant like vibes and just understanding, you know what I mean? The girl's super duper down to earth. And when I say fire, not capping, she's probably literally like, she has to be, if not my favorite now, my ultimate favorite, at least she's on that short list of my favorite, like not only just hat creators, hat designers.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? So everybody, without any more further ado, help me welcome to the show, BX own, New York's own, JJ motherfucking Grant.
I'm gonna clap for myself. I'm clapping for myself.
Clap it up, man.
I'm clapping. 2023, I'm clapping for myself all year. All year. I ain't waiting for y'all to clap for me.
That's a fact.
This year. I'm doing it myself.
That's the real shit.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you, Jay, for coming on.
Sure.
Everybody already know what JJ's here to do, and that's to bring us her top 3 go-to hats. So without any further ado, Jay, let's get right into your first top 3 go-to hat.
So my first hat, I'm gonna do the Don C.
Yes.
Yeah, Mitchell & Ness, Python brand.
Talk about it.
Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ain't have this hat too. By the way, like when I grabbed this hat, when I bought this hat, you know, a lot of people ain't have this hat. It was certain, like I feel like when the Don C hats dropped, like people was running to like, you know, the NBA teams and, just like the major teams. And I was super intentional when I bought this. I'm like, I'm doing a college team. Like, I'm just gonna go left with it. And it really was the brim that I just felt like, you know what I mean? Like, man, we know what this is, man.
Right.
We know what this is right here. I ain't even...
That right there, you can put it right there for the break.
We get this.
It's okay.
Yeah, we know what this is. We know what this is. So that's number one.
No, oh wait, hold on. We gotta go deeper into this hat because this hat has a lot for me too.
So like even for me too, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I remember when this hat dropped. I remember when Don dropped these hats, and I wanted one so bad. Like I ain't even feel this. The urgency that I had to buy this hat, I ain't even feel that sense of urgency to buy a pair of J's.
That's crazy.
And you know, like again, we're not talking about now. Like you know, I'm not talking about standing online and buying J's right now in 2023. I'm talking about, you know what I mean, like 15 years ago. Well, this probably wasn't even. This might have been like 12 years ago.
It's been a little while. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I mean, like. Yeah, I needed this, and you know, we ain't even get into the retail price of this yet. Like,
right.
But this wasn't no regular shit. Like this, you know, I feel like this hat gave us a social status.
Yes.
You know, like so that's also why this hat was super important to me, because I just felt like I got a crown on my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I throw this hat on and I go outside, or I'm in the club, or I'm in a certain spot, like cause I don't really club, like I ain't big on club. But at the time I was dating a girl, and you know what I mean, like she worked in the club,
right? So
that was just a part of my life naturally at that time. But yeah, I just felt like if you walked in any environment and you had on a Don C hat, everybody knew you, right? It's like it was like having an iPhone at that time, right? Like everybody didn't have an iPhone when the first iPhone dropped. Right. It gave you a MacBook. People didn't even know what the MacBook was. Like, so I kind of when I think of the Don C, I think of Apple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna compare it to that. I'm gonna do that.
Like,
this is like the Steve Jobs of hats. Like, I'm giving him that.
That is hard if you said that, because now you're right. So a part of the reason why I even got started with this was like those old, you know, hat drops, the Don C's, you know what I'm saying, the Tisas and whatnot. But when it came down to Don C's hats, you're right. It was like if you knew, you knew, right? And it was one of those, like, it added prestige, right? It was,
and not just like if you knew, you knew, but if you could afford it, you could afford it. Like again, like you had to be a part of that social class to even like get it. It kind of was just like you know, a stamp of validation, and not even to say that you was the flyest, but just like, yo, I could afford to spend $500 on a hat, like, you know, like, because like when we think of like high end is a luxury, you know what I mean? It's like optional. Like if you, after you finish paying all your bills and doing everything you're doing, if you still got bread around, you know, like, and you are able to spend $500 on a hat, that's not regular. Like most people ain't doing that, right? Like you add another $300 to that situation at that time, that's somebody's rent. You know what I mean? Like, so like, you know, right now that might be somebody insurance, car insurance. That might be somebody car insurance right now.
Hell yeah! You know, it's crazy because they talk about just the idea of if you can afford it. So I remember when those hats were like popular. Only people I saw with it was like the scammers, right? So all the scammers,
I don't even know if it was scammers. Like that might have been the beginning of like the scammer era.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
so it was around that time, and all the scammers had it, and it was like the first.
Dealers, you know what I mean?
This was like the first of its kind, right? It was the first $400 hat that I seen, right? That was like something that people were buying, right? It wasn't just something that was just on the shelf, but it was understood. People was buying. It was part of our culture, right? Coming from Don C.
And the connectivity, like, to the culture was strong. Like Don did a great. Shout out to Don too. Like Don has shown me like mad love. Like I love Don. But yeah, like I think he just did a great job. Like, you know, at that time, and just like producing a product that was able to just like resonate with our culture, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I just think I love the fact, I think his story was he handcrafted these, right? With the with the fabric of the like the snake skin or the brim, right? Him putting that fabric together, or him putting that material together, was what really stood out to me the most, right? Like you said, the brim. Even people was wearing it from the back, right? People had the buckle
that's
show.
real Python, like on, like
Python,
you know what I mean, like, and that's another reason. That's another thing that justified the price point. On top of that, like, you know, this is an official Mitchell and Ness collab. Like, you know, just the quality, the fabric, like everything that went into just like, you know, producing a hat is it was definitely well worth the price. Like the price wasn't even the point.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't think anyone felt like they was robbed or they got cheated.
Right.
It just was, if you could afford it, you know, like, and you know how many you own. I think that was another thing. Like my homeboy, shout out to my homeboy Steve. Like, yeah, I remember like, yo, he was coming strong with him. He was sitting me, and I remember he had this yellow one. And shit was like, it was like, I remember the cam line, like lemon head, and yo, like I remember he had that shit, and it was all yellow. And I wish it was mine. Y'all ain't got. I don't think I ever told him, but I wish that shit was mine. Like I wish I had that one.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna get it after him, like you know. But yeah. So I went Notre Dame. I went Notre Dame on him. Yeah. Steve, if you watching, I did that for you. I did that for you. Yeah.
Nah. The reason why I want to really like tap in with this hat, and I can't just have you go to the next one, because there's so many different questions, right? Because we talk about price point. To me, price point means so much. So how important is that to you, like when it comes down to price points and having a set price point for certain products that you put out? Like how important is that?
So it's certain, like I'm super intentional, you know what I mean? Like I'm just one of those, I'm that type of designer. So I do have specialty pieces like the Fair God hat that's in the front over there.
Right.
That was like a specialty piece. Like I knew that was gonna be a specialty piece.
Right.
Jerry Lorenzo is one of my favorite designers. So I went into it, you know, like just with this mind frame of how can I elevate something that I already appreciate, you know, like, and I know it's kind of like odd that, you know, Jerry is one of my favorite designers currently, because my style of designing is so different than, you know, his style. He's very clean cut. Yeah, for sure. Like clean cut, simple. He pays attention to you know, detail and silhouettes and you know, fabric. And one thing I love about him the most is just like, you know, the story behind Fear of God. Like I love that it's just like this spiritual journey that he's on. And so, you know, like just looking
I never really knew the story behind it. Okay, I didn't know. Okay,
Fear God for a reason.
Yeah. I didn't know like his inspiration behind Fear of God.
Yeah,
right? I was just buying it if I bought it was because I liked how it looked, right? But
right.
I didn't know the story behind it.
That's dope too.
Right.
Like,
okay.
So like you know, like I don't want to get off, but yeah, like that's definitely like, you know, like the story behind his brand. And so yeah, just looking at like the Fear of God hat and loving it like for what it was like already, and just, you know, thinking to myself like, how can we just elevate it and, you know, like just bring it into like JJ Grant's world without just like taking away from it. And like, you know, yeah, so like when I designed, when we started designing the hat, we went through a bunch of phases. Like I originally designed that hat in October. We didn't physically drop it until like this year, 2023.
Wow, so it's a minute,
Yeah, like I had people that, you know, bought the hat in October, and I definitely like apologize like for the wait.
Right.
Because that was not intentional. But we just had to get it right. Like I just wanted to make sure like these hats are $200 to go back to your original question. Price point. These hats is $200. Like I refuse to put a hat into the market that's $200 and we're not giving you like the best product we could possibly give you.
Yes.
Because, you know, I just said like, you know, that's top 3, my number 1. And as a consumer, before I even met Don, you know, like when I purchased that hat, I didn't feel cheated. I didn't feel slighted. I felt like I got what I paid for. And I want, you know, like my customer base to feel like that too. So, you know, like even the people that did wait, what it was, October, November, December. They waited 3 months, almost 3 months for the hat. When they got it though, they was just like, yo, JJ,
you went crazy.
Yeah, like,
right.
Yo,
that was really my first opinion, but I was like, yo, this is tough, because right now everybody's using like the regular MLB hats, right? Obviously, everybody uses the Yankees.
I bodied those already.
Right, you already got those, right? And then you touched on the fair guards, and like you said, it was clean, so you had more space of a canvas.
Right, had a canvas for sure.
You had a canvas, but I'm happy that you brought this on. Happy to see the beginnings of the inspiration. Yep. Let's get into your second one, because I got so many fucking questions. And I'm like, yo, I can't ask her off the first hat because it's going to kill. But I wanted to really ask you because I know you're going to bring me right back to it. So let's get into your second go-to hat.
For sure, let's do it. So the second one is going to be the collab with me and Tips. The Dirty Atlanta.
Yeah.
3M on the brim. We added the $, the 3D embroidery $, to the A's, custom patch, Savior on the back. This is probably my favorite collab between me and Tips. I think he knows this. I probably told him this, but
he loves that shit too. I remember he had that one. Yeah, that's one of the hats. I was like, son, what the fuck?
It just worked, like, and it's so crazy because prior to me designing this hat, me and is a brand based out of Harlem called Trap Genius. Shout out to Rel. And this probably was like, damn, I don't even know what year this was, but this was a few years. This had to be over like 6 years ago. And me and Rel, we in his spot like by Esplanade, and we just like chopping in and shit, like talking. Probably was smiling. I don't know exactly what we was doing, but he like, yo, JJ, like, yo, I got an idea for you. And I'm like, yo, what's up? He like, yo, you got to do the Atlanta joint, like those dirty on the brim, and
wow,
like this was really like,
talk about a fucking alley-oop.
Yeah, like yeah. Shout out to Rel, like yeah, that's the bro. So he was like, yo, you got to do dirty on the brim, and it was always something that was in the back of my mind. I just never had a chance to do it, and then when me and Tips decided to go on tour together, one of our spots was Atlanta. That was my first time in Atlanta, so I'm like, yo, I got this crazy idea. This shit gonna go. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the first collab hat that me and Tips cooked up.
Oh, let's show them.
Yeah,
put it down. Let's show them. Let's show them.
For sure.
Nah, you put it down.
I think this was the first one I cooked up. This was this was.
So that's your
and
first
if I'm wrong, like I'm sure like Tips, if he remember, he'll correct me. But that's the first hat I cooked up for us. That was the beginning of like the JJ Grand Savior collab hats kickoff.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I still wear that hat. Like if I could wear that hat every day, I probably would.
Yeah,
that's like my favorite hat of all time.
That shit is hard, son.
And it's so simple. It gets straight to the point. It go with everything. Like,
yo,
if you don't got it, it sucks. If you got it, throw that shit on for me today.
Yeah.
Throw that shit on for us today.
Yo, backstory. Yeah, that ass, because when he talked about it's a few things, right? Before I even jump into this hat, right, and everything we just talked about, right? The JJ Grant brand, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The JJ Grant brand, this is your staple, right? When you're talking about over the brim designs, over the brim text, or just designs in total, that is what JJ Grant is about, right? When we go to JJ Grant for a hat, that's what I'm looking for. That's her sound, that's her design, that's her style. This hat is amazing. Right. When I first saw it, I was like, damn, bro, like, how the fuck I let this one slip out of my fingers? Like I seen,
because if let me just tell you a little bit about it. Like, so when I designed the hat, we was in the middle of tour. It was crazy. Right. This I don't think this was our first stop on the tour. This probably was like our second stop. It's been like so much has happened since we've been on tour. So I'm not really good with dates and times, and I smoke, and I have anxiety, so it fucks with my memory. All of these things, I'm trying to give you a real answer. Yeah. But so like when I designed the hat and I showed Tips, and Tips was excited about it, and next thing I know, we flying out to Atlanta, right? Because we gotta set up shop and we doing this pop-up in Atlanta, and we dropped it in store at the pop-up in Atlanta. So if you wasn't in Atlanta, a lot of people from New York didn't get the hat. We didn't promote the hat prior to the pop-up.
Oh.
So if you wasn't paying attention, like, you probably didn't even know what was going on. Tips had, the whole hat club wave going on. There was a lot of shit going on with hat club. So that might have, like, oversaturated the situation as well. Like, so, it was a lot of things that played a role in, probably why you missed it, other people missed it. But it was the start of, everything else that it was the start of what came later. And what came later, it was became bigger than our dirty hat. But for me, like, maybe because it was the first one, like, I just have like this special connection to it. And I feel like it's like, you know what I mean? Like, me and Tip sold a lot of fucking hats on our own independently, like, without any major distribution. Right, like, we had that. We did that out of pocket. Like, we we did that out of pocket. We came out of pocket for that. So, and even that, like, I think that's why I appreciate, like, the Savior collabs, because we did that. You know what I mean? Like, and can't nobody take that away from us. Yeah.
How did you and J Tips even connect, though? How did you guys meet? I know you guys both from the Bronx, but how did you guys meet, and when did you guys meet?
I don't remember when. I don't remember when. Everybody said weed, anxiety. These is real things. Right. Like, so, but I think it just happened, like, organically. Like, we was always just, like, around the same people. When I met Tips, he was in the middle of, his music career. Like, Tips, what I mean? He's an artist. He's a rapper. Like, his first passion. I don't want to speak for him, but I think his first passion is music. Right. So I met him when he was just, like, in the mix of all of that. Like, when I first started the brand, one of my things was, and it still is, like, like, I love working with, up and coming artists, like musicians, like, however, like, we could collab and I could just, like, support whatever projects, like, they have coming up. Because I know how hard it is, for up and coming musicians too. Like, y'all get paid at the end. You know what I mean? Like, if I sell a product, I get paid, right? Like, but I still don't even understand how, like, a lot of rappers get paid, or how you could even, like, like, understand, like, how much streams are worth, or the value. Like, like, just understanding that, like, and this is not me having a deep understanding of music. This is just me having common fucking sense, like, like, I that's how we met.
Jay, I appreciate that. Let's get right into it. I don't know, do you have any honorable mentions? I should ask you.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Let's get it. I gotta see these.
Let's get it. So, my first one is gonna be a collab hat with me and my boy Gary, 22. This never dropped, by the way. We never dropped this. Hard. Custom fitted. This is not a new era hat. I'm gonna put this right here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that is made from scratch. Like, we produced the hat. Shout out to 22. They've been going crazy. If you're from the Bronx, y'all already know what it is with them. But yeah, like, just in general, like, 22 is also, like, was also a brand that I was early inspired by when I first started doing hats. Like, and I was trying to, like, actually get, like, a lot of stores to, like, pick up the JJ Grand count. Right. Like, the only hats that these stores were selling was 22 hats. So, like, I was first introduced to the brand, like, just seeing the brands on the shelf. Right. You know what I mean? Like, being in these stores and trying to get these store owners to, like, pick up the JJ Grand hats, and customers is coming in and buying these 22 hats, and they got, like, 100 of these hats on the shelves, and I'm like, yo, what brand is this? Like, what the fuck? Like, why I can't get my shit up here? You know what I mean?
I remember seeing that one. I remember seeing this brand.
So it was like the double X, like, So we designed, like, like, in Gary became, like, somebody that, I just would always go to for advice, and we would bounce different ideas off of each other. He would always, like, he'd been in the industry longer than me, like, he's older than me, so he just came with a different skill set. Like, he came with a different level of understanding when it came down to manufacturing, when it came down to product, you know, like he was dealing with factories. Like I showed you my first hat, which is the color hat. This hat right here is on the Yupong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like this say Yupong, the classic.
Yeah.
Word, like
That's
I don't
crazy.
even I don't even like see these anymore. Like, you know what I mean? But when you first start, you know you gotta get with them Yupongs.
Yeah,
we don't got options. So
facts.
You know, Gary actually, like, you know, when I was introduced to Gary, he really helped the brand elevate because he introduced me to this whole idea of like manufacturing and getting things made from scratch. And he's super big on ownership and, you know, just making sure that you own the product and we not getting, you know what I mean, like these corporate brands hot that don't really care or understand like where we come from or what we doing. So, like he planted that seed in me early on. And, you know, Gary really changed the game. Like, he changed the game for me. Like, I was able to just, like, you know, put out more hats, produce, you know, like my turnaround time was quicker. I was able to really customize the hat fully because of him. And this is around the time when nobody was trying to give me the sauce. Like, nobody was trying to help me out, point me in the right direction. So, yeah, like shout out to 22.
That's fine.
And you know, we did these hats that say paid on the brim.
Yeah.
And it got like the $ in the back of the hat. And you'll notice the eyelids is actually my custom flower. So that was like something
that's
we
inspiration by Don.
C, right?
I got you.
I stole that out of Don book.
Yeah, no, that's hard. Like little details like that. Like,
right, you can't do that on a new era hat.
Yeah,
you can't do that on a new era hat. We gotta design the hat from scratch in order to do little things like that. And I'm big on just like the small details, like you know.
Yeah, this shit is fire. Like, yo, you appreciate this. Like, you appreciate.
Right. And then the
like,
patch is crazy. Like, Gary designed the patch. Like I told you, I don't get into patches.
Right.
So like I designed everything else, but the patch, you know what I mean? Like the Trillionaire patch. He bodied this patch. Like this patch is fucking
tough. Yeah, it's
this patch
tough.
is crazy. The color wave is crazy. The goo just falling off of it. You know
I love the $ Like usually when I see people use $ I'm always like, all right, everybody uses $, but it's how you do it, like, and how you use it is where you placed it.
Right.
Like those subtle nuance, like maneuvers, like separate you from being just like some average. You know what I mean?
And it's not a regular $.
It's not.
You know. So like
honorable.
definitely.
Right.
That's my first honorable.
Yeah. Fire.
The LA New Era hat.
Tough.
Amigo hat. This is family and friends. This is definitely an honorable. Like, so this hat I was able to produce through the New Era factory. Like, I customized this hat fully. From the underbrim to the color to the patch. We chose the patch, the 1988 World Series LA Dodger patch, championship patch. I went with the underbrim. I wanted the underbrim to be brown because everybody was going crazy over these pink brims. And
that's
again,
hard.
like, you know what I mean? Like, we come from the hood, we come from the block. I felt like I got it out the mud for real. So that's why we did like the brown underbrim, like, you know, to just honor, you know what I mean? People that got it out the mud.
Yeah, and that's just a nice color. Like,
and the color palette
contrast,
is crazy.
like,
so it's family and friends. So it say La Familia. We use the LA as La, and then it say Familia.
Right.
And then Amigo, everybody know Amigo means friends. So family and friends. We dropped these at Complex Con. So definitely an honorable mention.
That's tough. I love that color.
Then I'm bugging out. We definitely got the robot heads on the back of them.
I wanted to ask you about the robot heads and the flowers. Like, what are those? Like, what does it signify for you?
So the brand consists of three characters. The brand consists of 3 characters. One main character. The main character is JJ. That's the robot that holds the flower with the heart. Then it's Ella. Ella is JJ's sister.
Right.
And you know, like if you're Hispanic and you're reading Ella, you know it's pronounced differently. You know, it really means she or her.
Right.
You know, like we're like very gender neutral. I don't really think it's necessary to say he or she. I don't want people to get confused. I definitely identify with being a female. I feel like that came over weird. Yeah, like this has nothing to do with me, but yeah, I just felt like we don't need a gender when it comes down to robots. Like now we're being ridiculous, right?
Right.
So that was just me just throwing that in there. Then the third robot is Amigo, and Amigo is just like the supporting friend that's just trying to usher Ella and JJ through, you know, like this life, through this world that we live in. Because the purpose of the robots, like, in order for the robots to exist, they have to maintain like this. They have to believe in love, you know, if I could just put it in like in the simplest form, right? So in order for these robots to exist, they have to, you know, like believe in this idea of love. The moment that these robots feel like, well, fuck love or fuck people or I don't care, you know, or they want to just like match somebody's energy that don't give a fuck, they die. Right. You know, so we're not into like matching energy. Like if you want to be a sucker, you're gonna be a sucker by yourself. Right. We ain't doing that with you. We ain't getting into that. Like, you know, if you want to be disloyal, you're gonna be disloyal by yourself. Like, if you want to steal, you're gonna be a thief by yourself. Like, we not, you know what I mean? Like, you're not tricking me into behaving like you. Like, you know, in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if I'm in a relationship with you, with friends. Like, I always have the option to just remove myself. So yeah, like that's just what it's about. Like, so the moment I kind of like give up who I am and the things that, you know, the philosophies and the codes of conduct that like govern me, I die. You die. Right.
Nah, I love that.
Yeah, 100%. So it's kind of like that. So that's definitely an honorable mention. And then, because I got some
shit. You got some shit. Like, she got a whole bag. She crazy.
I can't forget Dot.
Tough.
So, I got this hat last year. Got this hat last year, 2022. Artist Uptown named Dot, he designed this hat. And he know, like I done caught this nigga like a few times after, and I didn't purchase this hat. He actually gifted me this hat. But this hat is so ill. Like, this is one of the hardest hats I own.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yo, he got a Pac-Man up here. You know how hard it is to get a Pac-Man up here?
Oh, right. That's the person you told me about. You was like, yo, like, you seen his idea,
Yeah, like, this is not an easy task. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, I love this hat for multiple reasons. Like, he took his time with it. I feel like this hat was super intentional. I love the Pac-Man. His name is Dot. You know, the Pac-Man, eat the dot. It just
That's
works
fire.
like the
That's
Indian.
fire.
And this is really a hat that I wear at least once a week. You know, I don't get to take pictures that much, but I wear this hat, like, for real. Like.
So you respect the creators. Like, you're like, yo.
Yeah, nah, that's a
he's
fact.
like, I don't care about your following.
I don't give a fuck about that. If you doing your thing, yo, I'm a fan of people that is doing a thing. Right. You can't trick me into thinking you hot when you not.
Right.
This nigga Dot is hot.
Right.
This shit is hot. And you know what I mean? Like, another thing too, like, he really low key behind. Bring him up. Yo, Dot, come up here, chillin' with Bob. Like, tell me your story. I ain't even gonna sit up here and, you know what I mean? Y'all niggas know what's up with Dot. Y'all know what's up with Dot in the hood. Like, I ain't gonna be up here telling people's story. Like, y'all know what's up. He that dude.
Facts. All right, I got definitely got shout out to Dot, man.
Yeah, shout out to Dot.
Gotta get him on here.
I'm gonna pull out Tips Hat Club.
Fire.
Yeah, this is also a gift. Tips gifted me this hat. Yeah. This is one of my favorite hats too. Like, I
love the color palette. Again, like, y'all just understand the idea.
Insane. The fit is insane. This shit just like, I don't know, it just fits my hat perfect. Like, this is probably like my best fitting hat. Like, I don't know. And I really love it because of the color palette. Like, and you know, I love. It was a gift. Like, you know, like people was damn near about to kill each other over this hat. Like, so I appreciate that. Yeah, like this was a part of his first. This was a part of his first Hat Club release. So, like, I'm big on, like, the first, like, you know what I mean? Because after that, like, shit get watered down. Like, so
it's like those first Yeezys, like, you got to get the first color palette. If you don't have the first color palette, then everything else, you're right.
Because, you know, it's commercial now. Like, if you got, it's kind of like if you got a Tips hat now, it's like, of course you do, you know?
Right.
You could get a J Tips hat now.
Yeah, but you can't get that first one.
Right, like, but you ain't have this when I had this. So, you know, definitely that.
Fire.
Definitely put that there. This is the first hat I ever printed, the first fitted hat that I customized.
Yeah, I seen the West.
The West hat. Like, and when I did this hat, like, no lie, only me and Bari from V-Lone was customizing fitted hats at this time. Like, I designed this hat. Like, even like this shit is so dirty. Like, you could tell this is an old hat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I did this hat. Yo, when I did this hat, I was doing agenda trade shows in Vegas. That's how long ago that was. I don't remember. I told you I ain't good. I want to say I probably designed this hat maybe like, I want to say probably 6 years ago.
Wow.
Like, this was the first fitted hat I customized.
Nah, that's crazy. I remember you had these. You had a couple of them, right? And this is a part of this was before you did the Amigos pack, right?
Yeah, that's way. But like the Amigo hat is only like 2 years old. We dropped that at Complex Con last year.
Yeah.
So that was released. That was a Complex Con exclusive release. Like, so yeah, like that was. This LA hat came out, you know what I mean, like about 6 years ago. This is before the hat wave. This is before the anything wave. Like, this is when you was just an artist. Like, I think like it was very few streetwear brands. It was, you know, V-Lone was going crazy. So yeah, tough. That's an honorable mention.
Yeah, love
it. The fuck NYPD hat, 3M brim.
It's one of the first.
Right, like the 3M brim. And, you know, like, I wanted this hat to look like the captain's uniform. Mm-hmm. That's why I say fucking YPD.
Yeah,
we wanted...
with the badge.
Yeah, we was going straight for the head. Like, yeah, we wasn't talking to, you know what I mean?
You was talking directly at him.
Yeah, straight to the captains. Like, we didn't have time for the beat walkers. We wanted to get to it. So, yeah, we had this.
It's clean. It's
clean. Super clean, straight to the point. You'll see the fucking tag. The tag is hanging from it, and yeah. So
it's simple, but it's like effective.
It's right,
but it's very effective.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go with.
Tough.
Did I mention the jungle?
You spoke about it a little bit. Oh yeah, right. No, just a little bit, right? Yeah, you did with the it was a part of you too.
The red jungle's definitely an honorable mention. Lavender under brim. Red hat, like, come on, red, lavender, like, I don't know what we was thinking, but we was thinking, this was also like, you know, like we customized this through New Era. That's why we was able to get, you know, like the purple brim. So if you see this, like, I'm gonna say it, I don't know, like, tips if I'm wrong, correct me, but we came up with this color palette. Like, I ain't see a red hat with a lavender brim before this.
Yeah,
like, so, you know, even if you got a blank one, that might have been a piece of our stock.
Right.
Ask Tips. I'm gonna throw that on Tips. I know you guys situation. Hard. Like,
I love how y'all contrast the top brim to the bottom.
Then, I'm gonna do my us hat. So they say like the us on the brim, the R's for the robot. Again, we did the flower island. The us is on the back. So this was a dope hat for me.
That one is so fucking tough. I love the art.
Yeah, that
I was like,
crazy.
Fuck, I wish I came up with that art. The art is so tough.
You actually have that shit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah, the gifts.
And then I'm gonna do.
I love that one.
The satin hat. So this is called the Purple Rain, 100% satin. The flower print all over it. Like, this is a fly hat. So this is a fly hat. So this ain't for anybody. Like, you know what I mean? I know the hat culture is a specific audience, but this is something different. Fuck
that. All right, because that. Sorry, parts.
Yeah.
Like, what happened was, like, I like everybody comes up here and they bring up the MLB hats, the 5950 hats, the hat clubs, and that's cool. But I like the hypebeast and I like designer hats.
Right.
This hat reminds me of a designer hat.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is like, yo, if you like, I remember when Gucci had the hat that Fab had on and throw it in the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One of those are iconic moments.
Right.
This reminds me of an iconic moment.
Right.
Like, yo, did you get the
rich,
JJ Grant?
Luxe, yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? It's complete.
It's for the club. Like, so when I'm
got
like,
a good crown on it. Like, nah, this shit's hard.
And it's unstructured. Like, so it's really like you got to be a certain person. You got to have a certain type of energy to throw it on. But when you throw this on and you know what I mean, you go to the club and you got that shit on and you throwing your jewelry on and you playing around with fabrics, this is super complimentary to, like, that type of energy, and it's gonna elevate your look, and and in a serious way. Like in a serious way. So yeah,
like you really do this. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, anybody can just go and get this shit embroidered.
I'm wilding on your little circle.
Yeah, you are
right here.
No, you go crazy. But yeah, fuck it. Let that shit pile up.
All right, so then we got the Please Don't Be Sad hat. Now, this camo print, like on the back, the mesh camo print is actually like a camo print that I customized.
Right.
So we actually drew out and designed this camo. This is not a regular camo, a random camo print on the back of a hat that you could get anywhere. This is a JJ Grant camo print. And this hat is fire because it got embroidery in it. It got regular flat print. It got a custom camo. And it's just, you know what I mean? Please don't be sad. Please don't be happy. You know what I mean? We're getting straight to the point.
Goodness gracious, man. This is why you are my favorite. That's a fact, son. It's rare I say that to
truckers. Like, I'm into truckers right now. Like, I'm big on truckers. I'm big on, like, the whole rock star shit. Like,
Like, what was the inspiration, like, back, remember NERD and Pharrell was wearing the NERD hats?
Yeah, but it wasn't that, yo. It really came from Ed Hardy.
Okay.
I like Ed
somebody
Hardy.
brought Ed Hardy up here, and it was
like
fire. He was like, yo, I went out and I copped this one, like, recently. He was like, yo, I had to. And that reminds me of it. I see.
Yeah, like, right. So, like, I like that. I remember my first Ed Hardy hat was a corduroy hat, and it had, like, this naked lady on the front, and, like, I think Jaguar was, like, biting her shoulder off. It was, like, some weird shit, but it was just cool. Like, it was just fire. It just worked. I remember, like, when I bought it at the time I was in high school, I remember I wore it. I wore an Ed Hardy hat with a pair of 7 jeans. I had, like, remember the name belts?
Yeah.
I had, like, a little name belt.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the rhinestones going around it. You know, a little shirt on and all that. So it just kind of, like, you know, it's nostalgic. It brings me back to a certain period in time of my life. So, you know, I try to recreate those moments at times. And it's how I came up with, like, the Love Kill hats. It was a blend of that and Pharrell.
Was definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Like, so,
with the
like,
yellow,
those two things, just like, you know,
is,
like, right.
Yo, like,
they're just bringing out the
I
puff
can
print.
just, bro, the puffer print, this is the
everything is crazy.
like the details, bro, the details. Son, what the fuck?
Look at these. Y'all not fucking with my hat collection. Like, I'm trying to know this. It's not. And then it's
put
the
that up.
Inspire.
I gotta make sure
The
everything's
Inspire.
good.
You see that Inspire hat? You know we gonna finish it off with the Inspire. Cause that's what I do. I inspire y'all niggas.
Man, this is like real reaction because
we got the Inspire joint. I just figured I'd go wild, you know, since I'm here and we not racing with everybody else. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not looking over my shoulder to see, like, how far along my competitors are, how far along my peers are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a plan. I'm sticking to it.
Yes.
And, you know, we doing that. So, you know, it's still very much like, if they like it, we like it.
Right.
If they don't, we still like it.
Right.
You know, like, that's definitely
and that's what I'm saying, like, for you to have that characteristic, right, and having that patience, right, which is a lot of people don't. And I remember, like, reading this article, right, that you did with RGB Gallery, and you mentioned, like, some of your, like, inspirations, right, the Don C's, the Ralph Laurens, right, the Pharrells, and you mentioned Kid Cudi's song Pursuit of Happiness, which is one of my favorite songs, right? And the two things that you really, like, highlighted was, like, the journey and, like, quality. And I think, one, you expressing the quality right here, right? How has the journey shaped you as a person?
Well, the journey prepared me. Right, so the journey gave me the preparation. The journey gave me, you know, the journey built up my muscle, you know, like, so to speak, right? So now I have the preparation. Now I have the muscle. So I got the strength, right? Like, so now... with the muscle, with the strength, with the preparation, you also get the confidence. You know, like, and those are the things that you need to just, like, you know, continue to push forward, because you're gonna hear more no's than yeses. You know, like, we just don't share the no's, we only share the yeses. That's how this shit is structured. That's how it's built. You know what I mean? Like, but for every yes I got 1,000 no's.
Right.
Now, if I didn't have the strength, the courage, the confidence,
right,
the preparation to handle those no's, I would have felt defeated.
Right.
I wouldn't be sitting on this couch with you today. What I'm saying is like, you know, for you to get up as an artist, as a creator, for you to get up and, you know, do what we do every day,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, and just like, you know, pitch yourself and, you know, take an idea that's in your mind and, you know, actually make it
Manifest
into, you know, something
right.
that's
Physical.
physical, right? And now it don't stop there. This physical item can actually translate into a cell.
Right.
Oh
That's
boy,
what I
you
say,
a genius.
yo.
You a genius.
Yo.
That's a level of geniusness. And, you know, sometimes when you on the process, when you in the process, and, you know, like, I'm a victim of this, you don't realize your level of genius.
Keep my phone on D&D. Oh, you ain't seeing me. Talk fast, I don't speak for free. High ranked, only speak the G's. Can I get $1? Can I get a follow? With me in the spot, can I get a bottle? Scratching at my dollars like I hit the lotto. Eat at my Gianos like we the Sopranos. I ain't investing in your best friend or her eyelash. No.
You don't realize who you are because you in it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and for those that do realize it, I feel like they ain't really in it. Like, cause
right.
how the fuck you in something and holding the camera up at the same time? I can't.
Right, that's true.
Like,
that's
you know
facts.
what I mean? Like, anytime I was having
That's
a great
facts.
time, I didn't have a chance to pull out my camera.
Right.
Because I'm in the moment.
In the moment.
You know, I'm mindful. Like, mindfully, I'm in the moment.
Yeah,
It's
conscious.
genuine.
Yeah.
If I have a moment to think about it, then it was intentional. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So
and that's not being that also equals to you not being present. People
You're not.
People are not present.
You're not
I'm
present.
a victim of that too, of sometimes not being present. Right.
Yeah, I'm a victim of that too because I can't be present. You know, as the owner, the founder of JJ Grant, I have to constantly think ahead. I have to think 6 months from now,
Right.
and not even that. Like 6 months from now is too short. I'm playing myself thinking 6 months from now.
Yeah.
I got to think 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So if I'm constantly thinking ahead because I got to build up this empire. And not to shit on nobody, I'm building up this empire for me and my family and the people that I love. How can you expect me to be in this moment with you right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I have the answer for that. It's difficult because the answer for that is balance.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's so hard to find that balance. And I might have that balance today. Cause you know I fucks with you. We've been vibing. Like we build up a rapport.
Right.
But tomorrow I might not have that balance, or you know, like we done stopped the show a few times because this and that, and it's like you see me as soon as you start the show, I'm jumping on my phone.
Right.
I'm responding to emails. I gotta get back to because you know it's very robotic. Like you know, that's why it's funny to me that my character is a robot.